Hey guys and girls, and welcome back to Greatest Good Tarot. Hope you're doing well and keeping out of mischief. First off, before we get in, right? Hold on, hold your horses. Who does that? Who holds horses? Surely it's on a lead or reins or something. No one's holding a horse. I always seemed, as a kid, I assumed people would like bear hug them, holding a horse. Anyway, that was just tangent. Good start. But I would like to say a big thank you. In the last couple of days, Yao Chobe notified me that there has been a phenomenal amount of, for us anyway, a phenomenal amount of people tipping on the super thanks and stuff like that. Like a couple of quid here, a couple of quid there. Sincerely, thank you so much indeed for your tips and generosity and kind stuff like that. That is very gorgeous and very, very beautiful. Thank you very much indeed. To contribute to that. Obviously it's not necessary, but it's always very, very nice, and I very much appreciate it. So thank you very much indeed. Clearly, people have got paid. So it's payday. It's like this week has been everyone's like, but thank you very much indeed for those who've done it. So here's a lovely little reading that popped in. Question, that's the word, that popped in that I, as soon as I saw it, because it was really interesting. Like within a couple of hours of each other, there were two questions that came in. I can't remember who the other one is, not to name and shame that one, but it was just like, it was kind of the opposite approach to it. So I thought I'd use this one because it was kind of the positive side of writing it, compared to the kind of like, and I'm not saying it was negative, but it was a little bit kind of doom and gloom kind of way of writing it, if you get what I'm saying. But it meant the same thing. So it was like, wow, okay, all the stars were aligned and stuff like that. And both were getting beautiful upvotes, but I've decided to choose the positive one from Pete. Hello, Peter. Thank you very much. Who asked, what about a reading? Is the world going to get better? Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing with 13 upvotes. And like I said, there was another one on a slightly different wording with additional upvotes there as well. So that's what we're doing. Is the world going to get better for the greatest good for all concerned? Thank you. Always be appreciative. Yes, very, very nice indeed. So, just need to cut that. There we go. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. And let's see where this goes. So, 9 of Wands. Straight out the bat there. We just need to hold our ground a little bit. 9 of Wands, wounded warrior, kind of the last push, the last hurrah before we kind of get we're home safe and sound, that kind of thing. So that's very, very, we have to persevere through a little bit longer, and it's all going to be good. 7 of Wands here. Once again, perseverance. Very similar energies, actually. This one's kind of like holding our ground. This is perseverance, kind of like having the strong mentality of doing it. This is very much kind of the actual action of it. Defending your ground, that you're protecting what is yours, all that kind of thing. And the Beyond card, one of the 4 extra cards in this deck, which is the Epic Arcana. And this one here is where your soul, your third eye, higher self, higher being are all in alignment, as it were. Kind of like, that's the main goal here. This is kind of the awakening that I'm getting here. More and more people, working people, are awakening, are becoming enlightened, and more people are realizing that they're kind of connecting and being kind of good stewards and that kind of thing. So it's very much, as I was saying, was it yesterday or the day before? Even though we've witnessed horrific situations in the last couple of months or so, and I don't want to necessarily call it a necessary evil, but the aftermath of it has been very much more people becoming active. Instead of sitting on the sidelines, more people are coming into the center. More people are kind of tapping into the spiritual realms. More people are. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's an interesting, beautiful start here. And then we got success, the Six of Wands, victory, success, huzzah. I'm still trying to bring it back, huzzah. So it is going to be beautiful. Notice how the ostrich is looking all the way across here. Yeah? Is that the skeleton of an ostrich? I've just realized the mirroring here, as in kind of the spiritual realm is mirroring what's happening in the real world here. And so straight off the bat, we're on the right course. There has been, and remember, and I'll put it in here as well, just as a little bit of a kind of like footnote, kind of asterisk thing. This is very much what we've got here concerning Pluto moving into Aquarius, which happened again because it popped in and then popped out again. That's what she said. And then I had to come on. And then it made me tickle, that did. But then in November, it was there permanently. It's now there, which is very much for the next 20, 25 years, something like that, okay? And generally, the energy of Pluto in Aquarius happens every 250 years or so. The last time it obviously was there, we're talking about the War of Independence, we're talking about the Constitution signing and all that kind of, the Bill of Rights and all that kind of malarkey, okay? And generally speaking, the energies here are all about the little guy, you and me, taking control back, being more directing our destiny, as it were. Small businesses being more of a priority, small governments, people kind of resetting how it should be, as it were. And just as the comparison, just to give you an example, the French Revolution happened, I believe, off the top of my head, kind of like 5 years after Pluto left Aquarius. But they had looked at the United States, well, not the United States at the time, just one of the colonies. But they looked over there. Well, they've done it, we can do it too. But they were out of the kind of the prime energy field, as it were. So that meant that it failed for them where it worked for the United States, or the beginnings of the United States, the 13 colonies and stuff. So that's basically a quick kind of example of what we're in, okay? We're pretty much in the age of Aquarius as well. So it's a double Aquarius. I just like saying Aquarius because yes, I know it's Aquarius, but YouTube hasn't picked up on it yet. It's our inside joke. But it's one of those situations where it's double kind of, so it's like all about not being selfish necessarily, but it's all about kind of control coming back to the little guy being the one that's actually got the power in the situation. And what we're having right now, and I've said this consistently, is the people who have the control are resisting releasing the control, even though energetically they're going against God's will, as it were. Okay, and that's the frustration you're seeing right now. That's the friction you're seeing right now. That's all, whatever buzzword you want to put in there. That's what we're seeing right now across Europe, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, so on and so forth. All of these places are having the same thing happen. It's happening in places like Bangladesh, for example. The uprising there, they got rid of the dictatorship kind of thing there. I don't know too much about Bangladesh, apart from the fact that one of the Labour, what's her face? I can't remember her name. her aunt was part of it, and yeah, Stuttering Starmer is quite involved in that as well, it seems, and joint holidays and all that kind of malarkey. And his former corruption czar, or no, that's an American thing, but the corruption politician allegedly may be corrupt. Shocking revelations there. Who knew? But because she's connected to her aunt over in Bangladesh. So it's all this kind of shenanigans going on, and that's what we're seeing. One side, we're having this issue. This is what we're going to stand our ground, persevere through, and all that kind of stuff, and hold our ground. And it's the last push and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, because one side, they're desperately trying to hold on to the reins. Oh, we've done so much work. We're so close. Oh, but they're going against God's will. They're going against the age of Aquarius and Pluto and Aquarius and all that kind of stuff. They're going against everything. That's why it's failing for them. And everyone can see it. It's so transparent. On the flip side, we've also got the exposure of many things. The things are going to come to light that are going to pull apart the control of what's happening here. Remember, we've got 25 years of this. Not necessarily the transition, but the 25 years of the new way forward, setting up the new thing. And they're just exposing themselves left, right, and centre. That's what's happening. That's why it's not the usual techniques, the usual ways of kind of certain dictatorships and all that kind of stuff to bully the little guy, you and me. Those skills are not what the apparatus in their arsenal, as it were, are not working as they traditionally would have done a couple of years before. Do you see what I'm saying? Because everyone can see what they're doing, and everyone's moved away. A majority of people have moved away from mainstream media, but still getting, like myself, and still getting the news from multiple sources, and so are not necessarily in the echo chambers anymore. So we're not as controllable anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? It's that kind of, so it's happening on two fronts primarily. And this is why it's going to end up with the victory, success, awesomeness. But we're going through that transition right now. We're going through the kind of almost like the ointment. Yeah. There's this disease. We know about the disease now. We're now trying to fight the disease, taking the medication to fight the disease. The disease is trying to fight back. It's that kind of metaphor. Okay, so that's what we've got going on here. Leap of faith. There we go. New beginnings, new start, new opportunities. Yeah? The Fool card here. This is phenomenal. That free will. What I'm talking about here. Things coming back to the little guy. Not as kind of dogmatic and controlling and all that kind of stuff. It's freedom of expression over here, freedom of speech. We've got the biggest issue, and I think this is one of the things that I've been picking up on for quite some time, is that we have here in the UK we have the Human Rights Act, and within the last 10-15 years or so, they generally speaking have been voting on diluting our human rights. You can't, especially with things like the online safety bill or whatever it's called, where people can be anyone who puts, and I'm broad strokes here, but anything that you type in to a text box, so that could be a Twitter, that could be Facebook, anything with a little blinking cursor that you type in and someone else finds that offensive, that's a criminal act. Even though it predates, you've got the Human Rights Act, freedom of expression and that kind of thing. Now they've brought, do you see what I'm saying? It's that kind of chipping away of what you've already got. And that's suddenly why this is what's kind of being rolled back right now. So the Fool card here is taking that leap of faith, that opportunity there, the new beginnings, the new starts. The Three of Swords, slap bang in the middle of the reading here. And I feel like this is what... There's so many things of suffering happening here. So many people are hurting and can easily be dragged down, be burdened, be to the extremes, heartache, that kind of stuff. The thing here, and it's easier said than done, and it does take practice, I know. And this is part of the reason why this channel exists, is so that we can be unburdened by the crud that's going on in the world. We see it, we analyze it, we send it back to sender. We don't want to take it on. We don't want to this, that, and the other. This is not, I'm not claiming this is mine. Send it back. Okay? And by doing that, we are becoming less burdened or enlightened. Either way means exactly the same thing. So there is all this heartache and hardships and all that kind of stuff going on. And it's easy to go into despair of where do we start? Where, all this is going on. This is, what is going on? However, and it's not a self-righteous thing. It's a righteous thing, okay? It's not an ego-led thing, but it's to turn ourselves into the beacon of light, the change that we want to see in the world. And once we not necessarily disconnect from the heartache but become more highlighting it. Do you see what I'm saying? Think of yourself as, when I say a beacon of light, I always imagine kind of like us walking around like lighthouses. Yeah. In the darkness, we can either become dark as well, or we can become a beacon of light. We can go, no, come over here. We can do it a different way, exist in a different way, and suddenly we can start rising up. Like energetically, the more you rise up, the more you become enlightened, the more it doesn't affect you directly, indirectly, that kind of thing. And you can see it as you walk down the street. And it's not a delusion. It's not it's just the way forward. It's leaning into that faith. It's quite literally leaning on that faith. It will get better. When I get nudge, a download, from God's Spirit Universe, I will act upon it. I will, like I've said many a time, you have a piece of the jigsaw. You've just got to do your piece. You've got to put it down in the right place and let it go. And then everyone else will do their piece of the jigsaw and just have that faith. It will happen at the right time. It's that kind of thing. It's easier said than done, I know. But it can be done. Okay? And this is what we've got to, through meditation, through journaling, through shadow work, through that kind of thing, we always need to keep topping ourselves up to ensure that we can be almost like a life raft in the darkness, if you get what, many metaphors, but it's the same kind of thing, okay? But notice it's slap bang in the middle here, and we've got the devil here as well. Because the control has been taken from us, okay? The control has been taken away from us, so that we've got suddenly this is the negative ego of I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I can't do that, nag thoughts. Similarly, this is also people turning to drugs and alcohol. This is people turning into, to numb the pain, that kind of thing. And so self-medicating, that kind of stuff. It's a slippery slope. So notice how, just on this reading here, on this line, I mean, the two ways you could go from this heartache, this despair, this upset. Okay, we can have a leap of faith. We can take a moment. We can become unburdened. We can and it's you've got to put the work in. That's why we've got the 24-hour stream that we've got going. So if you have a moment, that's what it's there for. Okay, to kind of get you back grounded again. As long as you've got an internet connection, you can get it on the YouTube channel. Okay, it's always there, and do that kind of thing. Okay, or we can go further in. Okay, we know where this goes. It gets worse. So it's how you approach this. This is kind of the choice for this heartache, for the upset. Where do we go from here? We can make it go worse, or we can have that leap of faith and lean into that faith and be of service of that faith. Okay, so page of matches here, page of wands. Okay, this is the aha moment. These are the downloads, following our places to go, people to see, that kind of thing. Saying the right thing at the right time without realizing it. Just being of service, what we were talking about here. Finding new solutions, new opportunities. Being the beacon of light. Quite literally, we've got a wand here, or a match in this you are the beacon of light. Okay. Notice there's also a phoenix here on the card. So we reborn in that respect. Passion as well. The light energies that we're talking about over here. So with the devil card and the three of swords, we have got the high priestess once again. Leaning into that intuition, that knowledge. Kind of like the kind of perspective from a higher level, if you get me. Once again, not from an arrogant point of view, not from an egotistical point of view, but from more a enlightened point of view. And it's this kind of thing where notice how they're looking at each other. We get inspired, we get that download, we get that aha moment over here. We then get impassioned or passioned even. I've got words, shut up. We then want to do Google searches and finding out things and how can we implement that and how can we support the local community and our family and friends and all that kind of stuff, yeah? And it's the back and forth, yin and yang, that kind of stuff. That's why we're building here the greatest good village, because it takes a village to support everybody. That is what we're doing. And it's exactly the same kind of thing here. Okay, so the whole purpose of this channel, if we're boiling it down, is going back to this kind of reading here, which is fantastic. Because it in some respects, it's making my chest glow a little bit, because it's like, oh, okay, this is what I'm trying to do down here as well. This is what other readers, I presume, a lot of them are trying to do as well. Kind of like inspire others, be that beacon of light, so that kind of life raft kind of thing. You're doing the same things in different areas of the communities and stuff. Yeah, phenomenal. And there's the Emperor. Wow. The Emperor here is you becoming an authority figure of yourself. You getting that authority back. Yeah, I literally said it at the beginning of the reading, where people are like, the control is coming back to the little guy. This is you having the authority. This is you being empowered. This is you following your intuition, doing the Googling, and then off we go, being empowered. Not arrogant. Once again, we've got rid of it. It's over here. We had the choice. We've gone a different way. Okay, we've gone through the new beginnings and the new start with the full card. Yeah. So we're ending up being an authority figure of ourselves. Okay, and that Now, for the new boys and girls, this is just the base reading. We're going to get more cards on top of this. Okay, so just as a start, this is phenomenal. This reading to start off here is literally what I've been bashing on about forever. So it feels like at this point, so it's like, wow, as if it's come out. Overarching energy. Hawk lady. Oh, Nine of Pentacles. Gorgeous. Yeah. This is the working towards that beautiful vineyard. Okay. Enjoying the fruits of your labor, quite literally, the thing you're building here. And what's beautiful about this moment in history right now is that we can take back, can you tell what I've been researching? We can take back more than we have ever been able to do before. We can be pretty much like 99% self-sufficient. The 1% is kind of like the internet, but you can do that from Starlink, like we are right now. Okay, and just as an example, purely to inspire, not to rub it in, but this here, right now, what is in your face right now, is entirely off grid. It is powered entirely by solar panels and a battery bank down that way. So the lights, the camera, the laptop, the everything, okay? Just to show it can be done. And this is what we're talking about here, okay? Taking as much control back as possible. Instead of being a cog in a machine, a big corporation, a big organization, a big government, a big thing, a big this, a big that, right? Which is the previous energy that we've just come from. Into now Pluto, into Aquarius. It's now all about the little guys, small businesses, small communities, supporting like the local town, the high street, that kind of thing. Going back to that kind of mentality, going to farm shops instead of going to the supermarkets, that kind of making these multiple little changes along the way that suddenly accumulate into taking your control back as much as possible. If you can't grow your own food, go to a farm shop. But it's that kind of thought. So through technology, you can work from home. Okay. It seems like half of the UK government, seem to work from home at the moment. That's what, like, one news story a week or so ago was one of them was working from Ibiza for 4 years, which is, that's the world we live in. Yeah, depending. But no one said what role they did. And no one said, if they've emigrated over there. Do you see what I'm saying? It was just like, oh, how dare they work from over, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, so it's a proof of concept. It can work. Okay, you can set up a small business at home. You can have that control. You can bring that control back, and use technology like the internet through Etsy or eBay or other stores or like our website. Similar thing. It's all done online, accessible, and it's that kind of. That's what I'm getting here. What things can you take control back and actually implement locally for you? Okay, is it energy? Is it water production? Is it it's that kind of minute. Okay, I've said enough. Right, let's move on. Underlying energy, Two of Cups. Oh, this is beautiful. Oh, this is like in partnership. And I'm getting both ways of this. Okay. The Two of Cups here is being in partnership with God's Spirit Universe, being of service. But also this is working with other people in the 3D world. This is kind of making friends down in the comments down below, making connections, working in small cooperatives, maybe, whatever it may be for you. But it's making those connections. It's making those like-minded people working together, that kind of stuff. That's phenomenal. That is epic. Right. So before we continue, and I've just realised how long I've been flapping my face. Sorry, let me just have a slurp of coffee. Cheers. And then we'll go through here. But this is a phenomenal reading here. And I think, and I will say this now for everybody, if you see a comment on our channel, or maybe other channels, whatever, where people are in a bit of a despair, where people are in a little bit kind of like kind of a tailspin, that kind of stuff, please link them back to this video. Kind of watch this. This is kind of the bare basics, because I feel like this is why I was inspired to do this reading. Was from Peter's suggestion, is that this, so we can do the fundamentals. We can. This is kind of the safety net, if you get me. So. So let's get the prediction deck out. So is the world going to get better? For the greatest good for all concerned. Thank you. Always be appreciative. And while I'm doing this, if you are new here, please subscribe and ding-a-ling that bell so you get notified when new readings come along. Also, please like and thummy this video. It genuinely helps out the channel so much. It is unbelievable. And thank you to everybody who does that. And just like Peter did for this reading, you can suggest future readings down in the comments down below, and you can, like other people did, upvote suggestions in the comments that you'd like to see as well. Okay, so I definitely look out for them, and thank you to everybody who does that. So here we go. So one more, I've been told, one more, and then a cut. One more. There we go. Cut. Lovely. Here we go. So. Banking currency. I feel like this is one of the areas that we need to be wary of. This is like fundamentally an area that we need to kind of really get a grasp of what's happening. Duties, keep quiet. That feels very much like their own agendas. Ultimately, it boils back down to how much is a thing. And even people. Working people. Like, and this is going back a bit when I had a business and things. We did not, and I refused to have a human resources department. Because I felt like, how dare anyone like go, oh, you're a resource. You're akin to a printer cartridge and some paper and you know, that kind of thing. You're a resource of the business. It's like, no. And so we had the people department, and they were called people. They were the people. They were the people who helped the people. They did the people. And we're only a small thing anyway, but it was like, it's that kind of mentality. This here, even if there's kind of compensation, or if there's some sort of kind of payouts, or things went wrong, or blah, 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 or no win, no fee kind of lawyers, you know, legal stuff and malarkey. It's all down to money. You know, it's like, okay, they lost, and I'm just pulling this out my flappy bot, right? But, okay, they lost a limb in an accident. Okay, fair enough. That's like 30,000. It's like, who decides that that's £30,000 or whatever? I'm like I said, I'm pulling this out thing as an example. Who decides that that's the worth of a limb? You know what I mean? It's all going back to money and that kind of stuff. Okay. Military plane. What's that one? Beyond card. This is the bombardment. Okay. The bombarding of negative stories, the bombarding of kind of that depression, the giving the anxieties, the burdens that we've been talking about. That is what they're constantly kind of keeping control. They own the money. They're, you know, they're doing their own kind of due diligence and duties and stuff like that. It's all about kind of what keeps it going, and they bombard us for control. Six of Wands, we've got controlled narrative. Exactly. They control the media. They control the what happens in the world. They control the like, as an example, it amazes me, just generally speaking, how so few people know that the UN in New York, the building, the land, everything to make it happen was funded by the Rockefeller family. It's like, how do you not know that was that? Do you know what I mean? It's just, and a similar thing with the WF and like different multi-billion dollar and euro and all that kind of stuff, entities and stuff, building these structures to have more control, to snap back resources and information and all that kind of stuff. So it's controlled narrative. So we've got this is what we've got here. Is the foundations here? Is the bombardment of the military plane of like I said, mental health for everybody, burdens, bombardment, controlling the narrative, trying to do everything in the background, alternative agendas, all about money, all about control. Then the tension escalates. Then we've got compromised. This feels as if that they've shown their true colours. We've looked behind the curtain, kind of Wizard of Ozzy style thing, and that's why the tension is escalating. But we've got to be more Gandhi and less them. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like you can have better shoes if you wish, and you can use deodorant if you'd like, but the overall idea is to be more like Gandhi. Okay, and there we go. Replacement, exchange, replacing what has gone before, realizing that it's not working for us. It's kind of bringing it up to another level. They're compromised. It's harmful. Everything from big tech all the way to big pharma, big governments, big this, big that. What, like I was flapping on about before. And now here's the exchange. Here's the replacement. Here's the moving into a smaller, kind of going back to. And like I haven't done too much of this, and I've always been inspired by the Victorian era, and I do need to, not necessarily the syphilis and stuff like that, but I mean like the disease and things, but more about their expansion ideas and their their charitable agendas, and they're kind of trying to be better than were before kind of energy, and kind of building with true design and for the right reasons. And the amount of kind of water pump stations and things that you'd never see that has the same duty of care in the design of the banisters and the ironwork and all that kind of stuff, with the ivy kind of design that only a few people will ever see, but it's the fact that they put the effort in. Do you see what I mean? It's like, that's what I always been inspired, like, for the last couple of years about. And I do really need to get back onto that as a personal thing, taking the positives from it, as it were. Instead of just glass box, metal glass, cement. You know what I mean? It's the same kind of, anything on a grand design, pretty much. Glass box, triple glazing, steel, concrete floor. It's all exactly the same. It's just like the bare basics. That'll do. We're replacing this. No longer is it that'll do. I'm just doing my job is another one that's being, it feels like, taken out here. Page of Wands, strategy plan. This feels very much like from the Googling that we had down the bottom here with the High Priestess and the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is the plan, the plotting, planning, scheming for yourself, your family, and further afield. Okay, kind of like the ripples on a lake. And this is very much similar to what I've got. I would very much, on the website, greatestgoodtarot.com, there is an area called journals. I really do need to work on it. January's not been great, but I will get back to building it out completely. But it will give you a good start about how it's the 3 C's. So you have the capture journal, things like to get the data in. Then you've got the core journal, and then you've got the crypt journal. And then so the crypt journal is where I keep all my plotting, planning, scheming, the big picture, huge picture. So I don't need to think about it. I've captured it. I've got the links. I've got the data. I've got the thing. It's almost like a Wikipedia, personal Wikipedia, and then I can Google it, and it within it, as it were, and it brings up all the data that I've already captured and saved in a safe place. Yeah, that's why it's called the crypt journal. But it's taking this High Priestess and then plotting, planning, scheming from the Google searches and what would benefit people and that kind of stuff. And then we've got changes are coming. There we go. And then the Emperor down the bottom here, we have big news. Exactly. Sorry, you can't quite see it. There you go. Big news. So it's all coming from the. Notice the colours change as well. Okay. We've got this. They're smirking. All great. It goes dark of all the control and stuff like that. And then we're taking our control back. You see what I'm saying? This is the transit. They had control first. They've had it for a couple of 100 years and all that malarkey. Or they've built it up over the last definitely 50 years. And then the darkness, this transition that we're in right now is here. And then we're coming into the light again. So, overarching energy. Underground in hiding. This feels very much kind of people keeping their head down, just trying to survive. Kind of going back to that'll do energy, similar energy. I appreciate it's the outcome is different, but it's still that kind of just need to get through this. Need to just kind of like that'll do. We just need to get through the week. We just need to get through till payday. We just need to. Yeah. But instead, I feel like underlying social media, getting the support, getting the data, getting the information. You're not alone. Yeah? So this is kind of like, because we've been two things, and I know this has been back, I'm flapping my face, I'm so sorry, but there's 2 things here to really take home. We have been groomed into believing that we are just consumers. Okay? And we have been groomed into believing that we are alone. Divide and conquer, divide and conquer, divide and conquer. This is why, in some respects, and everyone's got their own personal thoughts on this, but as a kind of broad stroke kind of mentality, this is why people having labels is so important. One, you can break communities and then pigeonhole people into other places. Yeah. So as an example, and these are just pure examples, and very quickly, feminism, quite rightly, should equality. Everyone's equal. Blah blah blah. Hasn't been in some respects. That's why feminism grew, but then it's kind of disconnected. Do you know what I'm saying? You're pulling apart from the community to now suddenly be over here in your own community as feminism. Similar thing with LGBT, all that stuff. You're not part of that community anymore. The main community, us community, we're over here in our own community. It doesn't exist. But I mean, like, that's the mentality. Yeah. strength in numbers, that kind of stuff, but you're pulling yourself apart from the main community. Both are just examples of quite rightly wanting equality, not equity, equality. Everyone's equal. And we did kind of have it for a brief moment in like the 2010s. It was like, and then the pendulum swung a bit further out, didn't it? But the point is that if the bare basics, everyone, you're judged on, similar to what I was saying in Trump recently, it's like you're based on merit. Or what I've always said is like, we judge people on what you bring to the table. Yeah, it's not necessarily who you are, it's what you bring to the table that matters. Yeah. And so it's that kind of thought about this. So that instead of being like pulled apart, separated, independent, like you're all alone. Yeah. It's coming together, kind of sharing your thoughts, sharing your support, sharing together. But it's not because they're specialist communities separating themselves. Instead, this is our community, and there are certain things that we need to make sure that everyone's all right on. Okay, it's a slight change. Oh, hold on, that wants to come out as well. Cyber attack, same thing. The internet is a benefit. It is a benefit. So, this here is the final level here. I know this has been going on forever, but it's, like I said, it's back to basics, it feels like. It's a phenomenal reading. So it is very much on the turn here. It is coming, but we've all got to do our part. We've all got to do what we're being informed and nudged and downloaded, and our intuition is inspiring us to do our part in our way. So, the final level here with the tarot is like, what's the outcome here? Where are we going with this? For the greatest good for all concerned. Thank you. Always be appreciated. Mm-hmm. So, end of a cycle. Bash. 10 of Swords. Sun is rising. Sun is rising. Because it's all about control, isn't it? It's all about control. Taking control from one person to the other. This here is like the different government departments. This is the different banks. This is big pharma, big tech. This is all this betrayal is finally coming to end, and the sun is now rising. Emperor, again, this is you and your power, baby. This is phenomenal. This once again, you know your worth. Some people in the community would say this is, you're reflecting your sovereignty. Yeah, that kind of thing. Okay. I found coffee again. Cheers. I'm surprised it was loitering over there. It's hiding. But this is what we're talking about down here, down the bottom here. This is exactly the same. The big news is that you're in your power again. You're in your natural state. You're not being manipulated. Your value isn't being dictated to by other people, or from other people, I should say. Your value is naturally given. Your value has always been. You've just been groomed, you've been taught to think that it never exists. Do you see what I'm saying? You've always had it. It's almost like going back to the Wizard of Oz. And I've always thought about this, but is she really, Glenda, is she really a good witch? Oh, you've always had the power to go home, Dorothy. That was Glenda, just in case you got very confused. All you need to do is click. You've always had the power. You just need to click your shoes 3 times and you'll go home. Why didn't you tell me this before? Says Dorothy. Oh, you wouldn't have believed me. You wouldn't have believed me. Yeah? And scene. By the way, yes, I know. That was better than the original. We all know it. MGM are quaking in their boots. about the quality of goods there. But that's you and your power, yeah? Notice how the Emperor here, by the way, is looking directly at these self-righteous, jobs-worthy, oh, I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job. Not anymore. Not for me, thank you very much. The Empress. No way. The power couple. That is phenomenal. Oh, wow. Oh, that is sexy goods. Right, so the Emperor knows the authority. I've got the authority. Okay? And in fact, I was having this discussion with a friend of mine, because we always like shooting the breeze, as it were, and we're just hanging out and that kind of stuff. And I was like, the one thing that frustrates me the most, and this is broad strokes again, but just to give an example, the one thing that really frustrates me at the moment is that you feel outnumbered, especially if there's, as an example, this is just an example, if I don't know, the bailiffs have come round, okay, yelling, screaming, peer pressuring, bullying, all that, all their techniques and crud, which says more about them than anything else. But they still need you to sign the paperwork that you'll pay an X amount per month. Okay? You are the one that has the power. They're peer pressuring you into doing something silly. Okay? That's what I'm, you've always had the power, Dorothy. Doesn't mean that I'm not saying you haven't got the legs for it, my love, but not especially Peter, I'm not saying you don't have the legs for it, but it doesn't mean that you have to dress up as Dorothy. I'm just, putting it out there. The Empress is even sexier, because the Empress is the realization of your harvest, yeah? This is your skills, your mindset, your knowledge base, your understanding, your concepts, your driving license, all of it. All you have accumulated, your friends, your family, your assets, your access to things, so all that kind of stuff. And the fact that, notice how dark it is right now, and suddenly the illumination, the realization, the suddenly enlightened by, hold on, I've always had the power. You have no control over me. Through the Human Rights Act and God-given, it's like, I'm the one in power. You need my signature or my say-so or my consent for you to do something. Yeah? Empress, I've got all this sexiness. I've got knowledge and understanding and concepts and connections and all that kind of stuff. I can do anything I want. All these years, you've been telling me I can't. All these years, you've been telling me I'm lesser than, when really I'm not. Do you see what I'm saying? Queen of Cups. Ooh, Queen of Cups is, once again, this is not from an arrogant place. Okay, Queen of Cups is the one in charge of me of the cups. This is from an emotional, sexy yummy. This is a supportive, offering your cup. I want to share this empowerment with others. I want to share my resources with others. I want to share my, so that others can get to this state as well, being that beacon of light thing again. Okay, very, very nice. The Queen of Swords. I saw the sword before I saw the lady. The Queen of Swords here is she's a bit of a knee-jerk reactor. She cuts crap out. So she is the one who notices the Queen of Cups is looking at you right now. And it's like, I want to help you. I want to care for you. I want to empower you so you can do the same. But the Queen of Swords is still looking, same as the Empress and the Emperor, looking at the Ten of Swords here, going, right, and these are the buggers that need to be sorted out and given a slapping. Do you see what I'm saying? Notice that. Very important. World card, new cycle, new beginnings, new start, new opportunity. Yeah, beautiful stuff. Similar to the Fool card, isn't it? Chariot, bouncing on. Moving forward, we're not going back, baby. Ace of Pentacles, new valued opportunities. And the value is going to be different. It's not going to be just monetary. Yeah, yes, even though we've got the Nine of Hawk Lady over here, this is not necessarily about what's the best profit margins and all that kind of stuff. But instead, it's more about what value does it bring me? Does it mean that I can have more holidays a year if I do it per, my own business? Does it mean that I can travel more, or I can set up a homestead or a small holding, depending which part of the world you're in? Same thing. It's that kind of what value does it unlock? What opportunities does it now bring me if I do it this way? It may not be money as much as like over here, but it's the value is not just money. It's the connections and the places and the things and the opportunities and stuff like that. What other opportunities does it bring you? Okay, very, very good. 7 of Cups. That's thinking of new ways of always doubling back on the same thing. What other areas of life do we need to change here? What opportunities? And this is on changes are coming and the High Priestess underneath. So this is very much still getting those downloads and still being inspired as we move forward. But we're no longer in an echo chamber. We're being the change that we want to see in the world. And this is like, what else can we do? Where else can we apply this? Yeah? Where else can we could make this better? How can we make this better? Why is it necessary to be just like that'll do? No. We want to ensure this is durable. We want to make sure this is continuable, that we want to take this to another level. 4 of Wands, happy home. 11 card, make a wish. Celebrations in general. Could be weddings and all that kind of stuff as well. But this is primarily in this reading, it's very much kind of being content, celebrating, light-hearted, enjoyable kind of stuff. All right? Overarching energy, the 2 of Cups again. Partnerships, the true connections being built here, not because it's like, how much money can I make out of this person? Instead, it's like, what can we do together to make the world a better place? Yes, we'll probably, at some point there'll be business opportunities where both of you are going to be paid for this, but it's not the bottom line that matters anymore. It's the what can we change to make things better. Yeah, writing a really good book, not for that's going to be such a great resource compared to that'll do. Christmas is coming. We'll just need to, I'll have a crap ton of biographies and autobiographies, and we'll get a load of YouTubers to write stuff because cashing in. It's meaningless tat, but we'll produce it. Compare that to, let's write a really good book that really benefits society, really kind of brings people together in a special way, gives them that guidance, whatever it may be. Not for monetary, that's secondary, because it's the right thing to do. It brings us to better enlightened. Does that make sense? I hope so. Underlying energy, once again, rinse and repeat. 7 of Pentacles. Looking where we've gone, where do we plant this new seed? Where do we want to take this opportunity from this down here? Okay, we've done some good stuff here, but what else? Where are the changes? What will make us more happier? What will make us more content, both as individuals, as family, as community? Yeah, that ripple over the lake. Do we need go on, let's do Kipper. We'll do Kipper and then we'll get the hell out of here. I'm so sorry this has gone forever. Wow, really, I'm sorry. But I genuinely hope this really brings you some form of understanding, relief, enthusiasm, starting thinking about the opportunities, that kind of stuff. Okay, so let's get the Kipper deck here and go from there. Toil and labor. Marriage again. Family room. Happy. This is the content, the happy home. Yeah, the family room, the safe place, the place where we're playing board games and hanging out and enjoying each other's company and that kind of stuff. Toil and labor, in this instance, there's no easy fix. It feels like it's not necessarily a woe is me thing. It's just like we've got to put our bit of elbow grease in. We've got to put the effort in. We can't just sit back and wait for it to arrive. We've got to step up as we are inspired to do. Okay. Marriage, yet again, is the Two of Cups. Again, partnerships that will benefit each other. Okay. And further afield. And the family room is that content, that safe place, that okay, we're all good. All right? Overarching energy, this is the message. Underlying energy. Because they've been thieving. Theft. How much more theft do you want to take before it's like, no. The message is that we've got to put the work in and work together, for the right reasons so that we're all safe eventually. Okay? We're all on the right page eventually, The last thing I will leave here, which has just popped in because this has gone on forever, but I genuinely hope this has really kind of resonated with everybody. Once again, please thummy, like and all that jazz as well if you enjoyed it. And share it on socials and all that jazz. The last thing I will say here is for the longest time, and this is what the theft here came up with, just smacked me in the face, was the biggest lie, or one of the biggest lies, is that for us to win, someone else has to lose. Yeah? And that's not the case, has never been the case. And that is one of the other lies that we've been taught. Yeah? For us to win, someone else has to lose is, and it's a technical term, BS. So it's that new mentality. It's like we don't have to. Yeah? We just need to work together to do great stuff. Hold on. Is that the six? Is that the Six of Pentacles underneath? Oh, the give and take, the back and forth. Yeah? Working together. You don't have to, quite literally, that is literally what I've just been saying. For us to win, no one else has to lose. Yeah? We can share the load. We can share the profits. We can do it in a different way. We can all be winners. We don't have to, yeah? I love it when it comes together like that. Anyway, thank you so much for your kindness and your company and all that jazz. Sorry it's gone on for so long, but like I said, this is a proper deep dive. It just felt like it was necessary. And thank you, Peter, and everybody to upvote and all that jazz and suggest this reading. Please go and subscribe to all 3 channels that we do here. The other 2 we're going to start rolling out very shortly. Hopefully, cross fingers as we move forward. There's links down below, and there'll be 3 channels that pop up. Please subscribe. Subscribe to all 3, including this one. Okay, and sexy will be coming your way very shortly. But until next time, where we do this crazy shenanigans all over again. Take care. Look after yourself. Be well. And thank you for your company. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Ta-ra.